All right, thanks for staying with us. Yeah. Now, it's crunch time for political parties in Ekiti as they try to convince the people to vote for their candidates in the governorship election that is building up to Saturday.
Yeah, with more than 30 candidates seeking to occupy the governorship seat, who will dance to songs of victory at the end of this tough race. Let's now bring in TVC's correspondent there, Ayodele Zugbako, who has been, of course, witnessing, if you like, all the drama going on in the state. Ayo, well, very top of the morning, and there is a sense in which we are very happy to see your face this morning. With all the drama that played out yesterday, tell us what you saw being on ground.
You can say that again, Ekiti, anytime they have an election like this. I remember in 2010, I remember in 2007, anytime there's any form of election in the Ekiti state is always filled with, this kind of interesting drama. And yesterday, what we saw yesterday, is just part of what is like a prelude to what we are going to see on Saturday. It's 48 hours to that particular election, and it was this back and forth between the police and Governor Ayodele Fayoshe. But it's going to give me an insight that I have Professor Anthony Kila. And Anthony Kila is from the Center for International Advanced and Professional Studies. Thank you for coming, Prof.
Thank you for having me.
Prof, you are from Ekiti State?
Yes, I am.
Oh. Well, let me start by asking you, what do you make of the situation yesterday between the governor and the police?
Well, I think it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate drama. Ideally, we should be having elections without drama, without violence, and without fear. And it's just sad, and it's even worse because it's a kind of a déjà vu, as you were rightly saying. We had this 4 years ago, we had similarities before. It's just unfortunate, and it teaches us to live by principle, not by convenience. Because, what we do today might come around to haunt us tomorrow. I think that is the key thing. It's a very sad thing. It shouldn't happen, there shouldn't be any reason for anybody to be tear gas or people to stay at home or people to be afraid just because of elections.
Why do you think, when it comes to election in Ekiti or government in Ekiti, yes, why do you think the stakes are always very, high?
But it's very high because in this state, sadly for us, like a lot of places in Nigeria, particularly in Ekiti, because government and politics seems to be the major industry.
Honestly.
And that's very sad thing. We need to sort of wake up to realize that. Anybody who loves Ekiti, anybody who loves Nigeria truly, needs to work for a situation whereby politics and government is just an enabler. It is not the end, it is not the ultimate form of realization. We need to create, beyond this partisan thing of some people trying to be governor, we need to create an environment where people can actually aspire to a dignified life outside politics. We need to encourage broadcasters like yourself. We need to encourage scientists, business people, innovators to lead a life, teachers, I dare say, to lead a life that is dignity and prosperous outside politics. And when we have that, there will be no need for so much race and so much acrimony in the political arena.
Now let's look at the dominant party. There's been allegations and counter-allegations, and it's as if every other party, in this race, from my list I have 35 of them, they've been relegated to the background.
Yes.
Why do you think, we have a kind of two-horse race?
Well, I think people like you are guilty of that, to be very honest.
People like me?
Yes, people like you.
Okay.
You and your confraternity of the press.
Confraternity.
I think ideally, everybody should have a fair chance to express themselves. I do not, whilst I want politics to be less important in people's life, I do not believe that political parties or candidates should be reduced. I think it's a good thing that people come out to express their view and vie for office. But I think, sadly, money is also too important in these days. Realistically speaking, it is those parties that have had more funds that are the ones standing up, those candidates that have been able to spend more money. Again, because this is the biggest industry, you know. I think the political scene in Ekiti is like telecoms in Nigeria. There are only 2 or 3 that are standing up. That is the analogy to understand it. And it is sad, but luckily there will be forums to get to know others. I think citizens need to go beyond what they're offered and see what is there.
Now, when you talk about vote buying,
Yes.
you know, it's a major determinant of who will emerge as the winner.
Yeah.
At least it's not peculiar to Ekiti alone.
Yes.
We've seen in some other states
Yeah.
that on election day, it is the ability of any political party is a matter of the highest bidder. You see security agencies compromised
Yes.
because those are the polling units, they will look other way. You will see as people are coming to vote, they're giving them money, and when they give them money, that's going to influence, you know, whoever they want to vote for, and those ones will go home to go and call others out that, oh, I got 5,000, oh, I got 10,000 naira, and that has been a major bane in our democracy. Democracy.
I think that is a sad development. It's a sad trait. Now, you know, sort of scholarly speaking, we can conclude that this thing happened because of poverty and because some people are criminals. You know, let's say the way things are. What we need to do as a society, Ekiti and beyond Ekiti, is to build that consciousness of citizenry in people's mind, to know that your vote is not for sale. In the meantime, there are some of us in this society.
Prof, how do you tell somebody that has not gotten a salary
Yes.
in the last 6 months? that,
Exactly.
You know, not to get
money.
inducement.
You're very right. Now, you see, this is part of the problem where I've been using the word poverty like 3 times in the past 10 minutes. There's also a suspicion there are some people in this society, in Ekiti and the rest of Nigeria, who are actively pauperizing the people, making the people poor, so that they can manipulate, oppress, and exploit them, instead of letting them amend. And that's a very sad thing. Now, as I was saying earlier on, let's divide it into 2. Collectively, some part of this society, the civil society, activists, they sort of need to find a way to monitor things, denounce fraud, expose manipulations. Individually, as citizens, the best thing we can hope for is to get people to be conscious of reality and of themselves. And I'll give you a very simple example. If somebody is poor, it's very difficult to tell a poor man not to take money. Or a poor woman, they have needs. But what we can say is they can actually wake up. I've been going around, I've been in Ekiti for some days now, and I've been going around meeting different groups in different arenas. And I've told them one thing, that you try to go for what you want from this next coming government. In the meantime, if anybody gives you money, take it, but vote for your conscience.
But ultimately, that money might, you know, succeed in influencing whoever they want to vote for.
Yeah, but if you take it and you vote for your conscience, they won't influence you. I think now I want to create a conspiracy. I call it CCP, Conspiracy of Citizens Against Politicians. Citizens should come together and defraud the politicians. That should turn the things round. Now that is something we've been trying to espouse in Ekiti, and I've been going around telling people to do exactly that. Take their money and vote your conscience. If you are hungry and they give you money, then we'll move on from there.
Are you not worried the level of unemployment? Are you not worried about, you know, nothing seems to be happening in Ekiti State about only except if you are a civil servant? That's
very sad.
Livelihood.
That is very sad.
Kogosi is dead. Gosi water that used to be manufactured here, you know, is no more.
Those are the kind of conversations we need to be having. That is the kind of conversation we have been having with the intellectuals, conversation we're having with the business community. There is no state in the world, there is no society in the world that can be sustained solely by politics and government. It really cannot work, because how many people can government employ? How many positions can be filled? If Ekiti and indeed Nigeria wants to move forward, we need to move forward education, we need to move forward industries, and we need to move forward ways. Actively think of ways to generate job and wealth. We need to think that way. And you're very right, it's very sad that this state is that way. It's a very sad development.
Now, moving forward now, if any administration gets there tomorrow, in terms of priority, you know, you discover that Ekiti State, let's say Ekiti State is doing 3 billion naira from the federal allocation, and a new government will come and you want to pay civil servants, you discover that by the time you pay these civil servants, 80% of that money is gone. So you have just 200 million naira to provide basic infrastructure. Naturally, if you look at the pecking order out of 36 states, Ekiti State is not a financially buoyant state. How do you change the narrative?
Well, you can change the narrative by, you need to sit down. The first thing is to consciously say, I want to change the narrative. You know, that's the first thing. A good government that comes in has to understand these variables that you have just placed forward, has to have a good view of this panorama to say, my state is not doing well, my state is too dependent on government. So what do? We need to create an environment, we need to put this in place where jobs and wealth will be created. We need to turn the biggest force of this state, the human capital, to be a source of income generation. We need to get a group of people together and lock them in a room and say, come out with solutions to help us project the internally generated revenue of more than what we're getting from the federal government allocation. To do that, you need to create environments that will allow industries to thrive. You need to bring in new ventures. There's nothing wrong, you know, in saying that, do a 3 years projection and say, we want to bring 501,000 businesses to Ekiti. You need to, I know some people have talked about interesting things, like the Ekiti Knowledge Zone. You need to make the universities, the polytechnics, and all the schools work together with the town to create employment.
Okay, let's look at the timeline now. From 2014, before 2014, Dr. Kayode Fayemi was there for 4 years. Yes. His efforts to diversify, his efforts to actually, you know, make sure that this is not a salary-paying government. How would you assess it?
Well, I think, you see, I think one of what fascinates me in this election of 2018 is that the voters have a very clear choice of what people are offering them. It's not unknown. If I may say, look at what I've done before. You know me. You've seen the way I govern. I'm offering you that kind of governance again. You know, he says, look at my project. I've heard it in some rallies. He says, look around you, and you see what I did there. That is what I want to do again. The opposite side, led by Resolution, we know him
he's saying continuity, yes.
He's saying continuity. I think actually exaggerated continuity, because sometimes I've heard him talk. I think his campaign is a down the verb and continuity. He keeps saying that continuity.
Continuity, that's sustaining the legacy of Ayodele Fayose.
So you see, so in a way, technically, the people of Ekiti have a very clear choice out of these two. To say, do you want what Fayose did, or you want to continue this way? So it's a very, you know, it's a very, very clear choice. And outside manipulations, rigging, inducement, I think whatever happens on July 14th night,
Saturday,
or 15th, the people of Ekiti have a very big responsibility. Because yes, people can offer you nonsense, people can induce you. But at some point in life, individuals have to take responsibility.
Finally, the role of security agencies is critical to this election.
I think it's very crucial, and I think we should hold them accountable. I think the role of security should be monitored, documented, and very well put together for posterity. Because it appears they're going to play a very important role. Sadly, security is going to play an important role. I have a dream that one day, Ekiti and the rest of Nigeria will have elections where security will not be a major issue. But for now, they are.
For now, they are. I want to thank you, Professor Anthony Killer, from the Center of International and Advanced Professional Studies. I'm sure you're going to monitor the election. I'm sure you're going to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm sure you're going to. Anytime we call you upon you again, you're going to oblige us. Thank you for waking up early because of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll take you over to Lagos, where Mike and Ikechukwu Obieni is